Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night live call-in show. You guys know how much I love doing these call-in shows every Wednesday and Friday night. Man, do I have a great show planned for you, and you are going to be the center of the show. But other than that, I have a lot to talk about. We got a lot of games to talk about and some other things. And DJ Peete, no, not the music. DJ Peete is going to make an appearance towards the end of the show, so make sure if you're here now that you are here in about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes from now, because DJ Peete is going to go off on something you never heard before. But before we do any of this, let's get started. The number to call in if you want to call in and be a part of the show is 864-207-4522. I'll say it again for all of you in the back, 864-207-4522. Let's get the pleasantries out of the way. The show schedule. Monday at noon with my man Mark Rogers TV. You hear my dog over there hacking up a lung? He's old. You got to forgive him. You hear him? He's got asthma. I would kick him out, but I'm too nice. You all right, buddy? Yeah, he's okay. Monday at noon with Mark Rogers TV. Tuesday at noon, Lunch Money Show with my boy Uncle Lou, where we talk about picks against the spread, betting lines, that sort of thing. We do that Tuesday and Thursday, so we'll be doing that tomorrow, obviously, at noon. And we'll be going over tomorrow. We'll be going over the Big 12, the ACC, and we'll be giving you our locks of the week. Wednesday night call-in show, which is what you're watching right now. Friday night, this Friday night, there is no call-in show. It's your boy Pigskin Pete's birthday on Saturday, so I'm going out Friday night. So, unfortunately, my favorite call-in show of the week, Friday night at 10 p.m., will be postponed until next Friday. So, if you want to call in, this is your only time this week until next Wednesday to call in, just so you know. And then Saturday, I do a live game reaction to a college football game, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to do this week. It'll either be the Clemson game or possibly a 3:30 game. I'll post it on the community section on YouTube and on Twitter sometime within the next day or so you know, okay? And if anybody has any suggestions of which game you want me to cover or watch with me, hang out with me, and watch together, let me know. If you haven't gone over to howardsrocks.net yet, the new website, not the old one, the new one, just came up last week. I need you to do that, even if you're not a Clemson fan, just to support your boy. It doesn't cost anything. It's not a paid site. Just go over there and register. It takes. I went over on Uncle Lou's website and registered in 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes. Maybe not even that. Maybe 2 minutes. I put Pigskin Pete as my display name. I put my real name in there, and I put my email in there and hit submit. That was it. No credit card number, nothing. Just you going over there and registering helps me out. But if you do register and you do want to go over there and buy some officially licensed college football gear, you can do that, and we'll give you a 20% off coupon that's good for the rest of the football season. So go do that now, if not earlier. Or as soon as you get off here tonight, whenever it is you got to do it. Oh, let me show you this. Let me show you this real quick. I got some of the gear in today. Hold on. If I can find my camera. There it is. So, you can go look at the store. There's all kinds of stuff over there. But what I got today, these are the most popular things. These are the Speed mini helmets, and I don't know. They have Clemson ones, obviously. They're made by Rydell. They're actually made by the real helmet company, so they're not some kind of knockoff bullshit, you know. I think these are about $25, which I think if you find them on Amazon for less than $25, I don't think you can. for any team. Some teams cost more than others. This one was about $25. These are really cool and popular. Little pocket helmets here. I think these are like $4, something like that. $4 or $5. Little pocket helmet. You can actually put that on your keychain or whatever. There's a bunch of license plates on there. This is the one I got. Now they have purple ones, they have orange ones, and they have different graphics. This is the mirror, the chrome mirror, with the Clemson, with the paw and the football, as you can see. I know that light right there is causing a glare. Anyway, there's a bunch of different license plates on there, and there's a bunch of different license plate covers too. This is the one I got. It's obviously still in the package. And I also got a magnet. It's on my car, so I can't show it to you. Anyway, all kinds of stuff on there. And there's more stuff than just Clemson stuff on there. So there's a link in the description of this video to howardsrock.net, or you can just go to howardsrock.net. Register, peruse the store. There's like 20 different teams on there with stuff. So that would help your boy out. You don't even have to spend any money if you don't want to. All right. Let's get to the chat here real quick, and then we'll talk about some football and get to the phone calls. 864-207-4522. Cheers to the chat. What's up, Neo, Tiger Nation, Matt Dummett, Atypical Gump, Notre Dame 88. Hey, Notre Dame 88. The Clemson Tigers are going to come into South Bend and spank our Irish bottoms green and gold. What's up, George? How you doing, buddy? Tiger Nation brother for life. Jeff Webster. I don't think I've seen Jeff in a while. What's up, buddy? Country Tiger. Slady Shady Kings. Brody L. Another Irish fan. Clemson Carson's in the house. What's up, buddy? Bears, Cubs, Canes. The Hurricanes are sitting back and taking a week off to prepare for the Clemson Tigers on October 10th. We'll see how that works out. I can't wait till next week to start really talking to the Canes fans about that game. Right now, I'm focused on the Cavaliers, obviously. What's up, Big Ed? Luke Walker's in the house. What's up, buddy? Vandy Dandy. Captain Trips. Birrick. What's up, Birrick? Is my mic too loud? I feel like... What's going on here? I feel like my mic's too loud. I'm trying to turn it down now. I want to be blasting anybody's speaker out of their phone. Everlasting Chaos. What's up, buddy? Bubba Clemson's in the house. Hey, Bubba Clemson, sorry to hear about what you got going on. I won't say anything, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about you, buddy. Nate the Great, don't be late, a.k.a. Nate Kingston's in the house. Dennis Wilson. That might be it, unless somebody came in late. I'm scrolling. Big Vol Daddy. Audio is awful at times, Pete. What does that mean? What does that mean? Sounded like you were talking through a bullhorn underwater. What? Are you guys trolling me? I don't have time for trolling. I really don't. Is this better? Does this sound better? Okay, good. I'm sorry. Sorry I ruined it for you. What's up, CVE video? All right. Let's get to the task at hand. And like I said earlier, if you're just now getting in here, you want to pay attention to the final few minutes of the show tonight, if you can make it there. Your boy Pete, your boy DJ Pete is going to lay it on you. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Interesting games this week. North Carolina, Boston College. Virginia Tech and Duke. Missouri and Tennessee. Hey, what was the name of that? What was the name of that defensive end for Tennessee that was giving South Carolina some fits last week? He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Remember what his name was? I think it was DeAndre Johnson.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck.
Yeah, DeAndre Johnson. Obviously, Carolina Jackpot did not like DeAndre Johnson too much.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck.
Yeah, old DeAndre Johnson there. Anyway, Tennessee should beat Missouri. Virginia and Clemson. Pitt and NC State. Oklahoma and Iowa State. Can Oklahoma avenge the loss to Kansas State? We'll all find out together. TCU and Texas. Texas went down to the wire with a nobody, with a team I don't even know that existed until they almost got beat by them. They went to overtime. We'll see how that game turns out. A&M and Alabama. Alabama, another team, struggled with a bad team. Vanderbilt, what was that, 17-12? Not very good. We'll see how that ends up. Mississippi and Kentucky. I already told you. I think Mississippi's going to beat Kentucky outright, even as an underdog. Auburn and Georgia. Georgia struggles against Arkansas for the first half. Auburn beats Kentucky. That's an interesting. I'm gonna put a star by that game. What time's that game come on? Is that a prime time? I think it's on the same time as Clemson, which sucks for me because I want to watch that game. LSU and Vanderbilt. LSU loses. Vanderbilt takes A&M to the wire. People are saying LSU is going to lose to Vanderbilt. I don't believe it, but we will see. Arkansas and Mississippi State. And the Gamecocks against Florida. Gamecocks with a new quarterback this year, Colin Hill, the 1990s R&B singer from Color Me Bad, behind center. But the question everybody wants to know is, can South Carolina find a running game?
Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck.
According to Jackpot, they can't. Let's check the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're on with Pete.
Hey Pete, it's Nate the Great. Don't be late.
aka
Nate Kingston.
You're not late tonight. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. By the way, Ohio sucks. University sucks. But
okay.
Just FYI.
Okay, I know that. Clemson's their daddy.
I can agree with that. And Michigan's all time their daddy right now. Well, not currently, just all time. But yeah. By the way, I was going to talk about tonight. How Clemson and Ohio State could become a rivalry if you're following it, like a bowl rivalry, like Miami and Nebraska were, like BCS National Championship, back and back, whatever it is.
Did you say
that when?
Did you say Clemson and Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of already are. This decade they are anyway.
I mean
they've played 3 times this decade in major bowl games. They've got a rivalry going on. Now Clemson's owned the rivalry.
I know,
but it is a rivalry. Yes.
I know. I'm just saying because it could become a bigger rivalry too. Well, don't get me wrong, but
might see him this year. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So, as a Michigan fan, some Ohio State fans want to dump the game rivalry for some freaking reason. I'm not happy about that. Some, not all Ohio State fans, some. But what do you think about that? Like,
Sorry, say
like
that again.
some people,
I had the volume off. Say it again.
some people, or some Ohio State fans want to like get rid of the game between Michigan and Ohio State. What do you think about that? I think that's stupid.
Yeah, well, why would they want that? That doesn't even make any sense.
I don't know
I
why.
thought that was supposedly one of the best rivalries, or they consider it to be the best rivalry in all of college football. Why would they want to get rid of that? I haven't heard that. Where'd you hear that, Nate?
Well, some Ohio State fans.
Why would they want to stop beating up on Michigan? I think that they want. I think that most
Because
Ohio State fans enjoy doing that. Because why?
Because they say they're the daddy. Whatever.
What are they? Well, they must be stealing my line. I started the daddy thing. All right. First of all, I need something.
Yeah,
I need
know.
people to understand something here, because I get a lot of comments about daddy this, daddy that. Because I started that a couple years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Little brother's a very common thing. Daddy has never been a thing. To be somebody's daddy in football, you have to have never been beaten by them, and play them on a regular basis, at least in a certain amount of years. So, has Michigan ever beat Ohio State? Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Ohio State is not Michigan's daddy. Now, Michigan might be Ohio State's little brother, just like South Carolina's Clemson's
right
little
now,
brother.
yeah.
But no, there's no daddy status there. So, just letting you know the difference between daddy and little brother.
Yeah. Remember what I said at the beginning of the call-in, that Michigan's all-time daddy was not daddy, big brother, that was Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the all-time score is 56-52. The one tie.
Right.
Michigan wins. They have the wins. But, I'll have 2 minutes and you can get some calls.
All right, buddy. I appreciate the call.
Maybe
Nate.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
All right. There you guys have it. Nate, the great, don't be late, does not want to see the Michigan and Ohio State rivalry go away, and I don't think it will. You don't have anything to worry about, Nate. I promise you, buddy. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Clemson Tigers are so ass, it's not even funny.
Congratulations! You tried and you failed miserably. The forecast for today is partly stupid with 100% chance of dumbass.
He waited on hold for 15 minutes to say that. Embarrassing. And plus, what time is it? It's 10:30, son. It's time for you to go to bed. Don't make me call your mommy. She might take your cell phone away and your Xbox. For anybody who wants to call in, the number to call in is 864-207-4522. Let's get to the chat here while we're waiting on a phone call. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
This is Big Ed.
Hey, Big Ed. What's up, what's up, buddy?
Hey. Now, I know that it's not very likely for LSU to defend the national championship this year, but I want to talk about the legitimacy of the would-be winner this year.
Okay. What you got in mind?
How legit do you think they would – okay. How legit do you think that the winner would be this year? Being that conferences are playing staggered games, some already started, some just started, and some have yet to finalize a plan to start.
I guess it depends on who you ask, because I guarantee you the team that wins is going to consider it legitimate, and the team that plays for it in the national championship against them would consider it legitimate if they won it instead of losing it. So, I mean, how legitimate are at least 10 of Alabama's national championships, yet they still run around talking about they have 18 national championships, right?
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I don't know, man. It's a football season. Hopefully we get through it without it being canceled at some point. And if there's a playoff, I think it's legitimate. And I don't care. Even if Clemson's not the one that wins it, right? Let's say Alabama wins it. Let's say Ohio State wins it. Let's say whoever wins it. I'll consider it legitimate. But there's a lot of people that won't. But of course, a lot of people just want to complain about shit. You know. How legitimate do you think it will be?
Yeah. You know, I think if a team is able to go undefeated, I think that first of all, I think the only undefeated team should be able to get a shot at the playoff anyway. And I think if it's kept that way, it'd be more legitimate than some 2-loss team or 1-loss team even.
Well, what if there's not 4 undefeated teams? It's a 4-team playoff.
Yeah. It's pretty likely because teams aren't used to playing back-to-back what somebody would call difficult or incredibly difficult games, you know. I don't know if anybody's going to be used to it. Yeah. So I think that if they were to have to make that choice, then I just don't know if I would have agreed with whoever would end up winning it, you know.
I mean, you can pretty much say that about every year, though. I mean, like, let's see here. Was it 2 years ago? Was the only time there was there's never been 4 undefeated teams in the playoffs, has there? No. I don't think so. So there's a 4-team playoff. Most of the time, most of the teams have at least 1 loss. So it's not about being undefeated. It's about picking the 4 best teams, right?
Okay, then. So what would happen if we get to times to play the game and one of the teams that's in the Final Four is not able to play? What would happen then? Would they postpone the game, or would they just give another team the go-ahead?
You know what? That's a great question. That's a great question. What you're saying is once they pick the 4 teams for the playoff, one of the teams is unable to play because of coronavirus, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even thought of that. I'm still just focusing on getting through the regular season. I haven't even considered that scenario. So I don't have no idea what they would do. That's a good question. Let's hope it doesn't happen.
Yes. Well, yeah. I don't even know what to hope anymore.
Yeah.
All right, Pete. That's about it.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the call. There you guys have it. Big Ed calling in. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete.
Pete, sir. How are you?
Slim Shady Canes. How you doing, brother?
I'm in Iowa, so as good as can be expected, I guess.
Speaking of Iowa, Jeff Webster's in the house. I saw him in the chat, and I think he's on the phone line on hold, but I'll get to him after I get to you. So, I mean, you don't have to give away your address or what hotel or truck stop you're staying at, but whereabouts in Iowa are you?
About a half hour from Des Moines.
Okay. What's the weather like there? It's cold here in southeastern South Carolina, so I imagine there it's probably pretty brisk.
Mid to low 50s. According to my temperature gauge,
that's what
but
it
it's going to be off a little bit because my truck's running.
It's about 60 here, so it's not much different at all, really. So you guys have the week off this week. You guys have the week off this week, and so you guys have a week and a half to prepare for Clemson. Oh, well, 2 weeks, but a week and a half from now. And you have a week and a half from now to trash talk Clemson too, and I have been at the butt of that. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I got nothing else to do for 2 weeks, so might as well, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave Clemson alone tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, who do you want to bash then?
Well, first of all, I'm going to need to put out a bolo and an APB on Florida man's defense because they're MIA. And I still stand by my over and under of 120 points when they play Mississippi State.
No, I'll take the under. But does
I mean, that one could turn stupid real quick.
So it's not
if
Florida
Florida doesn't find a defense.
Not just a defense from Florida, but do they have a run threat?
Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck.
I mean, Kyle Trask did great. I don't know about the running game either. Defense and running game.
Well, I mean,
suspect.
I heard how good, their transfer 5-star running back was going to be, but I've yet to see him produce anything there.
Thank you, Bears, Cubs, Kane says, I hope the Clemson-Miami game is competitive at least. Need more teams to step up and make the conference more solid. Have a good day, Peete. Well, thank you, Bears, Cubs, Canes, and I actually agree with you, all trash talking aside. I know you don't want to see Florida State be better as a Miami fan, but I do. I
actually do.
I like the fact that Miami's looking good this year. I like the fact that Pitt's looking good this year. So, yeah, I want the conference to be better too, and for selfish reasons, not just to make Clemson's schedule better, because that hasn't seemed to matter. I mean, they just if the ACC's crap like it has been for the past 2 years, Clemson could just run through it like a hot knife through butter and get to the playoffs. So you would think I wouldn't care, or I wouldn't want these teams to be better. What it comes down to for me is I'm a college football fan, not just a Clemson fan, and I want to see good games every week. I want to get up for these games. You know what I'm saying? That's the main reason.
Oh, I'm exactly the same way. And, like I said, I like when the Florida State-Miami games are good every year and we win the game on a wide right.
Right.
Man, those are some of the best games for me. I mean, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. As a Miami fan, the last national title game we won, yeah, it was great, but that was a boring game. It was 31-0 at halftime. That game was over.
Yeah.
The last time I really got up, the last 2 times I really got up for a national title game was the Clemson one when Deshaun Watson won. That was a close, really good nail-biter game. And, most people's unanimous pick, that 2005 Texas-USC national championship game.
Yes. Those are
I love games like that.
Yeah, I do too. I like to see them week to week. You get to see it a lot in the SEC. You get to see these good games every week, and now not that there's not good games in the ACC, but they're not top 10 matchups, top 15 matchups every week. You know what I'm saying? They are this year. I think.
Well,
I'm happy this year. Well, we have more ranked teams because the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are playing, but nonetheless, I still think there's some good teams in the conference.
And I think even with the Pac-12 and the Big Ten eventually coming in, I think the Big 12 is going to be sucking high and tit this year.
Well, they already are.
They just look terrible.
They already are.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying even once the Pac-12 comes into the equation.
Well, they've already buried themselves so far. Yeah, it doesn't matter who comes back. I mean, they're just they are far and away the worst conference in the country this year, and it's pretty shocking to see too. I mean, I didn't expect them to go out there and be the best, but the fall that they've taken from last year in this short amount of time is pretty shocking.
Well, and I'm not totally burying Oklahoma like a lot of people are, because people are jumping on them over the Kansas State loss. And listen, I saw it out of Alabama for a few years. Ole Miss was just had their number. And sometimes a team just has your number.
Speaking of Oklahoma, I'm going to go ahead and bring Jeff Webster on. You want to talk to him?
Not at all. Go right ahead.
All right. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Slim?
What is going on, sir?
So you had to drop off a load at Smithfield, eh? One of these times you get up in the morning One of these times you get up to Des Moines, you let me know ahead of time when you're coming. We'll meet up somewhere and grab a bite to eat.
Sounds like a plan, boss.
There you
Because
go.
there sure ain't a lot going on in the bustling metropolis of Monroe, Iowa. I can promise you that.
Well, your Monroe is part of the PCM, the Prairie City Monroe School Districts, and that district plays really good volleyball and is traditionally a good small school track team, but it's in the middle of, you are right, it's in the middle of nowhere. You are in God-forsaken wilderness right now.
Oh, yeah, from the time I hit the state line, I've literally seen nothing but 100 gas stations, 2 dirty bookstores, and corn.
You come up through Keokuk. Did you come up the Avenue of the Saints and then turn on at Mount Pleasant?
I come up 61 out of Missouri, out of St. Louis.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. You didn't see anything. For those of you who don't know what Slim and I are talking about, there are metropolitan parts of Iowa, but not where Slim is right now. He is in the middle of really nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
Well, he said he saw a gas station and 2 dirty bookstores, so there's something there, just nothing that anybody wants to see.
Yeah, there's nothing of general interest to the general public. You're just like, let's get the hell out of here.
You can always leave it up to Jeff Webster.
Well, that's what Iowa stands for, Pete. You know, the letters for Iowa stands for I oughta went around.
I did not know that. You can always leave it up to Jeff Webster to know exactly where somebody is in the state of Iowa. He's like, yeah, Slim just named some ancillary small town, and Jeff Webster's like, oh, yeah, they got a great volleyball team and a good track team. So you have your finger on the pulse of the corn state.
Well, he's not very.
Corn state.
He's about 30. He's about 30 miles south and a little east and a little south of Des Moines. So I know right where he's at, and the town he's on is on my route back to my hometown. So I know. I mean, I just happen to know right where he's at.
A Carolina Jackpot.
But you mentioned Oklahoma. Pete, you mentioned Oklahoma. I'm going to see them Saturday night. They're at Ames Saturday night, 7:30 game. So I'll get to see Spencer Rattler in person and see if he's as much a crybaby bitch in person as he appears to be on TV.
Ow.
So Oklahoma and Iowa State have something in common. They both lost to nobodies. So who
Louisiana's 3-0, so they're not exactly nobody.
Whoa, okay.
But yeah, that's a game they should have won.
Hey, look, I'll concede that to you. Oklahoma's only favored by 7 points in this game.
Yeah, they should be favored by more.
I agree, which is why I'm putting my putting the green dollar signs on Oklahoma with the 7 points. I think they'll bounce back after last week, but I don't know, man.
The only thing
the Big 12 is so hard to figure out this
year.
year.
That makes me nervous. Only thing that makes me nervous about that, Pete, is Breece Hall, the running back for the Cyclones, had the 3rd best rushing performance in FBS this last week against TCU. He had the third most rushing yards from scrimmage. He's the real deal. If the Cyclones can keep the ball and run it and keep it out of Oklahoma's hands and limit Oklahoma's possessions, they can make it a game. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's not what I'm saying. But that would be the game plan.
Right.
You know, now last year, there's less than a minute to go. The game's in Norman. Iowa State scores to make a touchdown to make it 42-41, and rather than kick the extra point and play for overtime, Campbell decides to gamble and go for 2 and get the win, and he doesn't get it. And Oklahoma survives 42-41. So Iowa State can play with them. Will they? If they will, I don't know, but they can.
Well, I can tell you right now, Oklahoma's got defense, and this is nothing new, but I've been hearing all offseason how Oklahoma's headed in the right direction defensively, and they're clearly not. So
yeah, clearly
anything can happen. I have no reason to believe that Iowa State can't beat Oklahoma. I just have a hunch that Oklahoma's going to come out there and play better than it did last week.
I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be stupefied. I wouldn't be knocked over with a feather if Iowa State should win.
I'll tell you.
Because they beat Oklahoma 3 years ago. They almost beat them last year. They beat Texas last year. they can win these games, but it's just not likely.
I'll tell you this: if Spencer Rattler goes out there and throws 3 picks against Iowa State, they'll lose like he did last week.
Yes,
and I like
yes,
Spencer
because
Rattler
then
as a quarterback, and not necessarily as a, not necessarily as a person. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are saying he's kind of a jerk or whatever.
Right.
I don't know anything about that, but I like him as a player.
What I don't
I've
understand
been wondering. I've been wondering for a little while what happened to Oklahoma's defense. Because if you look back to the beginning of Bob Stoops' tenure at Oklahoma and when he won that first national title, they won it with nothing but a defense.
This is an easy.
I mean, we were talking about good national title games earlier.
Slim Shady.
That Florida State Oklahoma one was terrible.
I'll tell you. This is an easy answer for me. I think Jeff Webster knows where I'm going with this. The defensive coordinator. Who was the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma when they won that national championship?
Oh God, I don't remember. You're talking back in 2000.
Mm-hmm. Who was the coordinator?
It might have still been his brother back then. I don't know.
No. I'll give you a hint. He's coaching at a team in the state of South Carolina right now.
Yeah, it was Brent Venables.
Yes.
Really? Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah. So Brent Venables left, and he's now winning national championships with the Tigers instead of the Sooners. So there's a lot of different theories behind what happened between with Stoops and Venables. Basically, what it came down to is he wanted to be the guy, Venables did, and it seems as if Stoops chose his brother over Venables, and Venables said, "Okay, well, I'm out of here then," and Dabo Swinney was smart enough to go scoop him up.
Hey, can't blame the man.
And they have been regretting it ever since. As a matter of fact, some people say it might have even led to Stoops' retirement, which I don't think so. I think he would have retired anyway, but who knows?
Well, I mean, what more did Bob Stoops really have to prove in his career? I mean, he won a couple national titles. There's plenty of coaches that never do that.
Talk to the Paw says Venables didn't leave, did he? Yeah, he did. He left. He wasn't fired. He left. Yep. So, hey, Carolina Jackpot, if I see you in the chat, you might want to stick around. If you're in here and you're still listening, trust me, you want to stick around. Once I get done with the phone calls, you'll want to stick around. Oh, man.
Now, I have a question. A lot of people here lately, they've been talking about, how Nick Saban's the best college coach probably of all time. Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. And a thought occurred to me when I was listening to them talk about that on ESPN. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. Where would y'all put coaches like Jimmy Johnson and Pete Carroll, who, to the best of my knowledge, are the only two to win championships on both levels?
Well, the question becomes the greatest football coach of all time or the greatest college football coach of all time. I mean, you have different categories. So I wouldn't put Jimmy Johnson in the category for the greatest college football coach of all time. I mean, what do we judge things by? We judge them by rings, right? I mean, that's why Nick Saban's considered the best. So.
Yeah, but I mean, Jimmy got his ring in Miami and took off to the NFL. I mean, took the first job that came his way. And everybody knows what happened with Peete.
Right. Again, are we talking about the best football coach of all time or the best college football coach of all time? It's two different things.
Well, let's just say the best football coach then.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think you can make a case for Johnson. I think you can make a case for Carroll. I still tend to think it's Bill Belichick, even though he never coached college. Well, actually, that's not true. He did coach in college. And of course, he never, he didn't succeed in college, but, yeah, I still think, I think the best coach at any level is Bill Belichick. That's just my opinion.
And if you're going to talk longevity-wise, if you're going to talk about guys that won in a certain era, the game changed, but they kept winning, you'd have to talk about Don Shula, who was coaching in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. He kept coaching all the way through. Chuck Noll had a nice run with Pittsburgh. Tom Landry was successful for a long period of time with Dallas.
Lombardi.
You know, yes, I agree. I agree the rings matter, but there's a lot of guys with a long stretch of success that you wouldn't want to automatically exclude them.
The question becomes...
I agree rings matter to a point, but, I mean, nobody's going to say that Dan Marino and Jim Kelly aren't two of the best quarterbacks of all time, even though neither one of them have a ring.
Difference
right.
between...
You're gonna tell me...
There's a difference between players
You're
and
going to tell me that
coaches,
somebody like... Yeah, you're going to tell me that somebody like Eddie Robinson at Grambling, or Amos Alonzo Stagg, or Bud Wilkinson at Oklahoma during the 50s when they just absolutely owned the game. You know, you can pick and choose. You can go through and say, you know, this guy, and this guy. It's pretty hard when you're going to say there's this guy and he stands out over everybody else. I mean, there are a ton of great candidates for that honor.
Well, there is no like test you can take and say and just check the boxes and say this guy's better than that guy. So
right,
you know, it depends on who
right,
you're at. It's all opinion based.
Well, okay, look at it this way. Bear Bryant won 6 titles at Alabama, but it took him 25 years. Saban's won 5 in 12. Are you saying Saban's a better coach than Bryant? I think Saban's doing it in a more difficult era. I think that there are tougher, better teams out there. I think it's harder to win now. But then you're going to start talking about, okay, coaching. Does that also mean the impact on the kids that you had, turning young boys into men, and all the other intangibles that go with it? You know, hard to say.
Yeah, well, if we're just talking about strictly football, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, and people may disagree. I would rather have Nick Saban coach my team than Bear Bryant. That's just me. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of Alabama fans out there who'll be like, oh, Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. I'd rather have Bear Bryant. Whatever. I'd rather have Saban.
Well, and I get Jeff Webster's point on, you know, what Bear Bryant did at Alabama. And I know this is kind of a segue, but at least for me, Bear Bryant, what I've looked into, is more famous for what he did with the Junction Boys at Texas A&M. And that's really how he made his name.
Yeah, I think I'm an Alabama grad, so obviously I'm biased here. Now, I got there right after Bryant had died and Ray Perkins was the coach. So when I was there, the coaches were Ray Perkins, Bill Curry for 2 years, and then I was there. My senior year was the first year for Gene Stalling. So I saw 3 coaches go through Tuscaloosa. After Bryant had been there for 25 years, I saw 3 and 5. But Bryant more or less played the same game. He made very little strategic game plan, game approach differences as far as plotting, and this is what the offense is going to look like, this is what the defense is going to look like. Over the tenure of his career, Saban has completely changed. There is very little that Alabama is doing right now, at least offensively, that looks like what they were doing in 2008 and 2009. I mean, he has changed his game and what he wants to do. So I would give that nod to Saban. And also you also have to look at the fact that don't forget this. When Bryant was at Alabama, he could put 105 kids on scholarship. I mean, he could take that number 4 tight end that was going to be the starter at Tennessee, and he could give him a scholarship and sit him on the bench in Tuscaloosa just to keep him from going to Tennessee. You know, the scholarship restrictions were different. It was a completely different world then than it is now.
I I agree with that. I will say that Nick Saban has changed his approach over the past couple of years. But even when Nick Saban brought in Lane Kiffin, all 5 national titles that Alabama has won under Nick Saban were all won with a dominant defense and a run game. Tua was the first real quarterback that y'all had come in there. I mean, Jake Coker was okay, but, you know, A.J. McCarron, all those guys, they were just a middleman between the center and the running back.
Greg McElroy.
Yeah.
I mean, A.J. McCarron did something that Bart Starr, Joe Namath, and Ken Stabler couldn't do, and that's win 2 titles. I mean, so that's, I mean, you know, that's, you want to talk about how odd that is. And don't forget, you know, one of the feathers that you stuff in Saban's cap, and Peete has said this before on his show, I heard him say it, is that Saban is doing this with all sorts of different coordinators.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, his offensive and defensive coordinators are changing constantly.
That's a big deal in today's football. That's something you didn't used to see back when Bear Bryant was coaching. So, I take that to heart. And, you know, even Dabo Swinney, I'm not putting him on that. I'm not. So anybody who's going to say, I'm not putting Dabo Swinney in the Nick Saban era right now. And he's still got a long way to go. But Dabo Swinney's done it with the same coordinators. So even he hasn't done it the way Nick Saban's done it to this point. He's a lot younger, though.
Right. But Dabo's done it with less talent. And I think that's because of the same coordinators.
He has done it with less talent, yes, but with the certain positions that you need to win national championships, he has been equal talent. In other words, defensive ends, defensive line, quarterback. I mean, those are the positions that win championships. So,
I don't disagree whatsoever.
But,
I don't want to take anything away from Dabo Swinney. Give him another 10 years, you know, that Saban's got. You know, Dabo's just – his record started playing after Saban's has been playing for a half an hour. You know what I mean? He's a little bit coming later to the game. So we haven't seen them go against each other during the same span of years. So there's still a lot more to come from Dabo.
Oh, Saban has like a 15-year head start. So, So we'll see.
And I mean, you can give Dabo this much. Dabo didn't spend as much time losing to bad teams the way Nick Saban started out his head coaching career. I mean, remember Nick Saban at Michigan State? They were terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think the one advantage that Saban had over Dabo is when Saban got to Tuscaloosa, the program was a wreck, but it was still Alabama. He still had something he could sell.
Yeah, right. But
he still had the national championships. He still had the tradition. He had an easier jumping off point to start from probably than Dabo did.
Sure, and he was already a national championship winning coach. So he already had a pedigree.
Right.
Dabo Swinney wasn't even a coordinator.
Yeah.
He was just a wide receiver coach. I mean,
well, and I'm actually going to push back on that point, Jeff, that Alabama wasn't a terrible team. Shula's next to last year at Alabama, they won 10 games.
Yeah, they won the Cotton Bowl. People forget that.
Well,
so, I mean, they weren't terrible. And just think, if Tebow had picked Alabama over Florida, y'all never would have got Nick Saban. And he almost did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think if Drew Brees is cleared by the Miami doctors and he gets Drew Brees, I don't know that Saban leaves Miami to go to Tuscaloosa. But now what Saban can do, and everybody can hate this.
I don't believe that. That's what Saban says. That's what Saban says. But I don't think Drew Brees would have been the Drew Brees that we've known if he went to Miami. When he went to
I agree with that.
A lot of that has to do with Peyton.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm getting at. So
I think what happened with Saban, this is just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, I admit, but it's just my opinion that Mal Moore and Nick Saban sat down together in Tuscaloosa, and Mal Moore said, "I got millions. I'm going to pour into this program, and I'm going to let you direct it." You're going to have the money you need, and we're going to let you call the shots. Now, do for us what you did at LSU and watch it take off, because once it starts here, it'll really roll. And I think that was just too much. Saban just could not. He just couldn't turn the chance down, I think, what happened. And
Luke Walker, I disagree, sir. He says O-lines win national titles, Pete. No, sir. No. The defensive line has been much more integral in winning national championships than offensive lines have. I can tell, as far as Clemson goes, I can tell you the two national championships they won this decade, they didn't have dominant offensive lines. I mean, they had good ones, but it was all about the defensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, we're splitting
to me,
hairs here,
defense
but
still win championships.
yeah.
But that's actually a hell of a thought experiment of what college football would look like today if Tebow had picked Alabama over Florida. Saban wouldn't be there. Percy Harvin said he would have gone to USC if Tebow had gone to Bama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a hell of a thought experiment to wonder what college football would have looked like over the past decade if Saban had never been in Alabama, which almost happened if an 18-year-old had flipped his mind the other way.
Right.
Well, I mean, Saban went into Florida this year's recruiting class, and he took their number 1, their number 2, and their number 3. He took the top 3 of 5-star and 2 4-star wide receivers out of the state of Florida, and we already know he had 2 first-round wide receivers in the draft last year, and Waddle and Smith are going to be first-rounders this year. He's got a chain going there that just keeps going on because he's able to convince these kids, if you're a stud freshman, I will play you. I've got the balls to bring you into a national championship game at halftime, Tua, and play you. And I think the kids respect that. He's now drawing kids who are not scared to compete for their playing time, that want that playing time. And, you know, the haters can hate this, but, man, this guy shows up in your living room, and he's got 5 diamond rings on his hands, and he asks your mama for a second slice of that sweet potato pie, and your son's going to graduate. He's going to play on TV every week, and I haven't had a graduating class come through that has not appeared in a national championship game, and the mama says, sign their son.
Hey,
I mean,
Gator Nader, don't worry about what other people in the chat think about you. You're welcome here, sir. Everybody's welcome here. Don't let the people in the chat get to you, sir. Go ahead.
To the point Jeff was just making, I think you're starting to see that come to an end because over the past couple of seasons, you've seen even bad record Miami teams under Manny Diaz be able to pull some of these recruits away from Alabama and Nick Saban. And Bobby's brought this point up with you before, Pete. If Miami can get to a point where they're competing again, they'll keep all of that talent in South Florida, and that's a sleeping giant waiting to wake up.
Right.
Well, but Slim, Saban just walked into Austin, Texas, and took the number 2 offensive tackle and the number 1 center in the whole damn country whose daddy played in the NFL and whose daddy played for the Longhorns, and Saban just walked into Austin, Texas and stole them.
I understand that, but a 6 and 7 Miami team just stole 3 5-stars away from Alabama over the past 2 recruiting cycles.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying that they can't make it more difficult. Absolutely they could. But that doesn't mean that all of a sudden Saban ain't going to get most of who he wants. Or Dabo's not going to get every kid he wants. Kirby Smart's not going to get every kid he wants, but they're going to get most of the kids they want.
Oh, and I'm not saying that they're not going to get the majority of the players they want. But what I'm saying is, if Miami can get off to a roll, which, and I've told Pete this, I'm still reserving judgment until after this Clemson game. yes, they've done what they were supposed to so far, and I'm coming from a little jaded perspective over the past 15 years. But if they can get on a roll, they'll keep every kid in South Florida. I think that is one thing where recruiting hasn't changed over the past 20 or 30 years. If Miami's a dominant team, they'll keep anybody they want in the state of Florida pretty much.
Hey, guys, this has been a great conversation, but I got to let both of you go. I got one more call, and I got something else I want to get to before I get off. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry, Pete. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to come in and hog up all the time.
No,
we just started yakking, and away we went.
No, it was a good conversation. Believe me, if I want to cut you off, I'll cut you off. You're fine. All right, guys.
Slim, take care. Safe travels, buddy. Pete, thank you.
All right. See y'all later.
Yes, sir.
George, you got like 30 seconds, dude. What's
up,
man?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Damn. My phone was muted. I didn't even know it.
Well, you're on now.
Well, hold on. I got to pause your video. Am I on? Hello? God damn, this is frustrating.
George, you're on.
Oh, okay. I can hear you. My phone?
Who the fuck is he? Fucking freshman? Fuck!
What's up, buddy?
We have some drama sometimes connecting and hanging up, but we're here now.
Okay. So you got like a minute. I'm running low on time.
Okay. Well, when I went to try to answer, I noticed my phone was muted, and I was like, so I unmuted it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the video was playing loud over my voice. I had to stop the play of I don't usually have to do any of this shit. My phone does it all. There's something going wrong with my phone. Once I got on hold, I couldn't be in the chat unless I actually typed each letter in. I was like, that's a lot to ask.
You guys have South Carolina this week in the swamp.
Right.
Does Florida have a run threat?
I think
Pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat. You fucking fuck.
I think we have a chance if we play right and keep our nose to the grindstone. We might be able to beat South Carolina. There's no free games in the Southeastern Conference. This ain't the ACC.
So
ask Georgia. Ask Georgia.
South Carolina loses to Tennessee. They're expected to go like 3 and whatever. How many games are they playing in the SEC? 10, 3 and 7. Every Florida fan from here to Thailand is telling me that they're going to make the playoffs, but you're telling me that you might get lucky to beat the Gamecocks this weekend.
I'm just trying to be humble. I guarantee you Dan Mullen isn't telling his players, hey, we got this, everybody relax. It's a free game.
That's
not how it works.
Dan Mullen's out there telling people he'll beat anybody at anything, including thumb wrestling. I'm not making this up.
Well, no, that's his intention. I agree, but he doesn't tell the people that practice, we got this. He tells the people at practice, these son of a bitches beat Georgia last year. You better get your head on straight.
You know, if South Carolina beats Florida, you'll never hear the end of it from me.
If Georgia beats Florida this year, I don't even know if I'll make it to the next football season. I'll probably be.
Georgia's a top 10 team, top 5 program in the country. South Carolina's not. Big difference.
Right. And I really don't think – I think we'll beat South Carolina by 30, but I don't disrespect Southeastern Conference teams. It's not like the ACC, man. They can all beat you on any day. Just go.
George, South Carolina has lost the last 4 games they played to ACC teams. And I'm not just talking about Clemson either. North Carolina, Virginia.
Okay, all right. There's a couple good teams in ACC, I admit it.
Okay, well.
North Carolina, Miami now, all of a sudden. Anyway, do you like Iowa? Someone asked me about Iowa. Not the football team, the state.
Like them? What? I've never been to Iowa.
The state.
Never been there.
I've been there.
I mean, I don't
but
know.
I like it because of the name. I like it because of the name.
No one's ever been like, hey, let's go on vacation to Iowa. I mean, so no, I've never been there.
That's never going to happen. You're right. It should happen, but it's not. You're right.
No. I mean,
I like it because
if I hunted, I guess there's probably good hunting there. I'm not a hunter. So, I mean, the only reason I would go to Iowa is if I knew somebody that was there, or I was traveling through there to go somewhere else. But I have no intention to go to Iowa just to see what's going on in Iowa.
Yeah, I've only drove through it, but it's a pretty barren looking place when you just drive through. You're like, what's that?
Right.
But it's a word with no consonants in it. They're A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y and W. They're all vowels. Iowa is a word with no consonants, just all vowels, and that's almost impossible. I don't know anywhere else in the whole world that has a name with all vowels except Iowa. It's a special place. It's like Tibet. There's something special about Iowa.
W's not a vowel.
Yes, it is.
It
is in every other language except English.
Aren't vowels A-E-I-O and U?
Well, when I was a kid and we went to school, every day we had to say this in kindergarten, the first and second grade. They taught us the vowels.
Is it A-E-I-O and U and sometimes W? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I forget. It's been a long time.
And then they would say it's sometimes Y and W because they can be used as vowels.
Right.
It's two U's. It's a double U, and U's a vowel.
All right, George, I got to go, buddy.
You think? No, I haven't told any stories about anything
I know, but
yet.
I got to go. It's a time issue. That's all.
Oh, all right. Next time. Hey, when's the next show? When's the next show?
I'll be on with Lou tomorrow at noon on his channel, but as far as the call-in show, it's not till next Wednesday. I won't be on Friday night because I got a birthday thing.
All right. Hey, I know what Howard's Rock is now. That's pretty cool, man. I like that.
Good. I'm glad you looked it up. Thank you, George.
And I apologize to all the Georgia fans for all the abuse I'm going to give you all year in the chats. I apologize so deeply. I can't help myself.
Don't apologize. Later, George.
All right. Never mind. I take.
Good afternoon. You're on with Pete. Hello.
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 Okay, Pete. So it's Coulter, and don't even talk to me about Kansas State. Yes, I'm well aware of what happened. Everyone in the chat, go ahead, get out all the Oklahoma loss to Kansas State because I don't want to hear it in December because I seriously still think Oklahoma's got a chance at the playoffs.
Well, they lost to Kansas State last year and got in there, so I don't disagree with you.
And here's my logic. Oklahoma has still got at least, if they win out, that'll mean they have 3 top 25 games still on their schedule. Texas, Oklahoma State, and whoever they meet in the Big 12 title, because if they win out, they'll be in the Big 12 title game.
You're still assuming one of those two teams isn't going to lose again. Like, in other words, they could still...
Well, I mean, look at it this...
They could fall out of the top 25, is what I'm saying.
That's fair, but in my mind, if Iowa State wins every game on their schedule except for Oklahoma, it'll be enough to bump them back into the top 25 because Lafayette's actually proven that they're not a 1 week stand.
If Iowa State wins every game on their schedule,
except for Oklahoma,
you think that's going to happen? I don't.
I honestly thought
that's a big if.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, I thought it would be Oklahoma and Iowa State in the Big 12 title, and I honestly still think so.
Thank you, Traveling Fools. I didn't even see the super chat you sent. Miami 37, Clemson 34. Thank you. But you know you're wrong. Definition 409 says, any chance you and George doing a weekly show? No. There's zero. There's you know what? There's less than zero chance of that happening. But George is always welcome to call in to this show. Go ahead, Coulter.
Yeah, sorry. But I'm honestly kind of nervous for this Iowa State game because I honestly think Ames is the most dangerous place for a road team in college football because, I mean, Iowa State's pulled off some pretty big upsets there in the last couple of years. Like 2011, they got number 2 Oklahoma State. Then a couple of years they've gotten a ranked Iowa there. And then in 2017, they got number 4 TCU. 2018, they got a ranked West Virginia. So, yeah, this was honestly. And here's the thing: Oklahoma's October schedule is absolutely brutal because it's at Iowa State, Texas, in Dallas. Then we get a bye, only to go to Lubbock for Texas Tech, and then we have TCU. So that's a pretty brutal schedule, if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm still hung up on the thing that you said a couple of minutes ago about Iowa State being the toughest place to play in college football. I mean, I just can't even wrap my head around that.
Well, I'm just going to say this. When I last checked, the spread was 6.5 in Oklahoma's favor.
Yeah, 6.5 or 7.
I think Oklahoma will cover, assuming it's 6.5. But Oklahoma's going to score the last touchdown of the game, and Iowa State's just going to have a game-ending drive fall short. That's what I honestly think.
Right.
In spite of the fact that I know Oklahoma's going to be hungry for redemption after that loss.
I picked Oklahoma to cover.
Yeah, but
I think they're going to beat Iowa State handily. So.
Honestly, this Cyclones team has me a little nervous just because, remember, at the beginning of the season, they were ranked, and then they lost to Louisiana. And now, think about it. If they beat Oklahoma no longer controls their own destiny in the Big 12, and Iowa State would likely be ranked again. So, yeah, that's 2 monkeys off their back.
Yeah.
In fact, when I first saw this schedule, I was more nervous about Iowa State than I was about Texas. And I have respect for Texas's football program because I honestly think Sam Ehlinger, at the end of the season, he's going to be at the ceremony for the Heisman Trophy. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I think he's definitely going to be there. But honestly, Iowa State still has me nervous, a little more nervous than Texas. So, you can call me crazy, but that's honestly what I think.
I just the Big 12 looks so bad right now. It's hard for me to wrap my head around any of that. I think Iowa State's going to lose several more games. I think Oklahoma might lose.
Well, let me make an analogy for you.
You guys might just consume. The Big 12 might consume itself.
Well, let me just put this into analogy. Iowa State is the Pitt of the Big 12.
Okay.
Where Iowa State,
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I get it.
For those of you who...
Yeah, go ahead.
For those who are listening who might not understand, basically what I'm saying is Pittsburgh's always prone to upset a ranked opponent, and that's the analogy I'm going for.
Yes. I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah. They do it all the time.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying that for the Bama homers who don't understand what the heck my analogy is, even though they always have one team that always comes really close to beating them.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But I put my money on Oklahoma, so you better win by more than 7, or I'm gonna hold a grudge. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, don't hold it on me.
Well, I won't hold it on you. Let's hold it against.
Also, I'm just gonna
I'll hold it against Rattler and the rest of the team, I guess.
I will also say this. Oklahoma next year is going to be even more dangerous because Rattler will have some experience under his belt. Will more than likely still have Creed Humphrey at the center spot. Charleston Rambo is going to be a senior. This young core of wide receivers that we have is going to be more experienced. So I'm just going to let the rest of the nation know how to watch out for Oklahoma next year because I honestly think they're going to surprise a lot of people next year.
We'll see.
This year, maybe we'll still make the playoff, but if we have a shot for the national title next year, next year is the year that I'm thinking.
I don't see Oklahoma making.
And that's just because I think
we'll see. All right, man, I gotta go.
I
appreciate
honestly
you calling in though.
All right,
buddy.
See you, Pete.
That is going to do it for the call-in portion of the show. Thank you to all the callers. I appreciate it. I hope Carolina Jackpot's still in here. A treat for him. DJ Peete. DJ Pete's about to make some DJ magic. Where's all my Miami fans? Isn't that where all the DJs hang out in Miami? What's up, Wilkie? Slim Shady comments and insight are crap, he says. So if you didn't hear, if for anybody who didn't see or hear the Carolina Jackpot video during the South Carolina and Tennessee game last weekend, I pulled a couple of clips. I played a couple of them tonight. I'll play them for you in their solo. Okay, I'll play them for you by themselves, just two of them, and then just by accident, I found out that when you combine these two sound clips of Carolina Jackpot losing his mind, it's amazing and it's fantastic. And you can actually make a song out of this, which I will attempt to do right here, live on the air for you tonight. Thank you, Slim Shady. Florida's defense against Ole Miss is still better than Oklahoma's defense over the last 5 years combined. Speaking of defense,
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck.
So that's clip number one. Carolina Jackpot referring to DeAndre Johnson, the defensive end for Tennessee. Let's listen to it one more time.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck.
All right, now this one is him referring to the South Carolina running back not being a run threat.
Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck.
Wilkie says Miami has been irrelevant for 15 years. Oh, man. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir. Truer words have never been spoken, Wilkie. All right, so here's what happens when you accidentally stumble upon these two sound bites from Carolina Jackpot talking about the run threat and the defensive end from Tennessee. Wish your boy some luck. I have not got I haven't been to a DJ training, okay? The closest I've been to a DJ table is when I was getting a beer at a local club somewhere where I was on vacation. Here we go.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck. DeAndre Johnson. DeAndre Johnson. Some kind of a fucking running Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck. DeAndre. Pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's fucking DeAndre Johnson. Pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck. DeAndre Johnson. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman.
This shit on me.
Pose your... Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck.
I could do that shit all night long.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fucking. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking pose yourself as some kind of a fuck. DeAndre Johnson. DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fucking. Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck. DeAndre Johnson.
Oh. Thank you, Carolina Jackpot, for endless hours in the future of entertainment for Pigskin Pete, and hopefully for my viewers too. Slim Shady Canes, Miami has done more since 1980 than West Virginia has done since 1891. And then he says West Virginia has been irrelevant since their existence. These are all facts. These are all facts. Wilkie, we've got a super chat war going on here tonight between Wilkie and Slim Shady Canes. West Virginia almost 30 spots higher on all-time wins than Miami. Uh-oh, those are fighting words, sir. Miami has had 2 bowl wins in the last 15 years. Miami has never been a threat for third place in the ACC. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, sir. No comprende. No speaking English. You go. You've been here 4 hours. Sounds like something he'd say about Trevor. What's the winning percentage West Virginia versus Miami? I have no idea. Clemson Carson, those are the best videos on YouTube. If I told you I sat here and played, look at these guys. If I told you I sat here for 30 minutes earlier today and played with those sound bites to find the right rhythm and beat and laugh the whole time, I'm not lying. Wilkie says, Pete, did we best Clemson like a drum? What did he say? We did best Clemson like a drum. Worse loss for yes. What was it, 70-35 or whatever it was? Thank you for that, Wilkie. That's what got us Brent Venables. That got the current defensive coordinator fired, and then we got Brent Venables. Wilkie, I'm going to buy you a beer if I ever see you, sir. Are you coming to the Slob Olympics? I hope you are. I'll buy you and every other West Virginia fan a beer just for doing that. I appreciate it, and so does the rest of Clemson Nation. Slim Shady Kane says West Virginia couldn't win the Big East till Miami left. There is some deep-seated hate here between West Virginia and Miami. What's up, SO Mafia? What's up, Mr. You Mad Bro? How you doing? Hey, you know what I need from you guys? I need you guys in the chat. I mean, even if it's not in the live chat, even if it's just in the comment section of the video after it uploads, I need some votes on what game do you guys want to see this weekend as far as me streaming it, or if you care, you might not even care. Slob Olympics sounds like the girls from Methalina. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Miami can't win the Big East, but Georgia Tech and Wake Forest can, all since Miami has been in the ACC. Well, I'll give you one better, Wilkie. Every team in the Coastal Division has won. Well, wait, no. There's been how many teams have won the ACC since Miami's joined the ACC? That's a good trivia question for you guys. I don't know the answer to it. I have to look it up. If I had to sit here and think about it to figure it out. I'm going to say 7 or 8. A lot. At least half the conference. I'm going to go more like 7. When did they join? It's been 20 years almost. 15 years. You might be right. It might be like more 4 or 5. Probably 4 or 5, yeah. It's been more than 3. I know that. Probably like 5. Beric says 4. Cedric says Wake, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Florida State. That's 5. That sounds about right, actually. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, the war is over. Wake, so maybe 6. I'm gonna look this up when I get off of here. All right, guys. I gotta go though. It's been amazing. It's been fantastic. Thank you to all the callers. Thank you to all the commenters. Thank you to Carolina Jackpot. You go.
DeAndre Johnson. Who the fuck is he? He's a fucking freshman. Fuck. Can you pose yourself as some kind of a fucking running threat? You fucking fuck.
Thank you especially to the super chatters. There's been a bunch of you. Mainly Wilkie and Slim Shady Canes getting in a super chat war. What's going on here? Also, Traveling Fools, Definition 409, and Bears, Cubs, Canes. All of you are amazing and fantastic. And of course, the callers. If it weren't for the callers, there would be no show. I always say that. All right, so no live show or no call-in show on Friday night, guys. I will be out of town. I won't be out of town. I'll be out of the house. My birthday is on Saturday, so I'm going out Friday night. But I will be on Uncle Lou's channel, Uncle Lou on LouTube tomorrow at noon. Come hang out with us, and we'll talk about some betting lines and have a good time over there. All right, guys, I'll see y'all later. Pigskin Pete's checking out.